North Yorkshire Moors 300 is a circular bikepacking route starting in Thirsk that will take you across the North Yorkshire Moors to the coastline of the North Sea and back via some of the most remote places in the whole of England. The North Yorkshire Moors 300 is created by Stuart Ryder, the same Stuart responsible for the increasingly popular Yorkshire Dales 300. If you've ever ridden the Yorkshire Dales 300, you have a good idea what to expect, and you'll not be disappointed with this one either. Where the Yorkshire Dales 300 can be achieved on a gravel bike, unless you have very low gearing and high volume tyres and front suspension fork, you'll probably want to leave the gravel bike at home and bring a mountain bike with you for the North Yorkshire Moors 300. The North Yorkshire Moors 300 can be ridden any time of year, either by yourself or with friends. Alternatively, you can ride the official event that takes place in July. A small entry fee offers you the opportunity to ride with others, making friends along the way, which is always a good thing. I rode the North Yorkshire Moors 300 solo in early summer, starting from a small car park not far from the official start in the market town of Thirsk. This took me straight into a forest. This was a very tough place to start a bikepacking adventure, as there was no warm-up, as it simply went straight up through the forest up to the bank above. So in hindsight, probably not the best place to start if you want to do the same. When I reached the top, I was afforded spectacular views across the flatlands to the west, with Thirsk way off in the distance. The route sends you straight through the bike centre at Sutton Bank National Park and leads you straight through a couple of farms and onto gravel tracks and trails as far as you can see. My journey began a little after 6 p.m, so I had very little daylight ahead to enjoy the views and admire the countryside, and it would turn out to be a very long way until I could resupply. Before then, there was at least one hiker bike section that I can remember. Much of the route was indeed rideable, with hiker bike sections thankfully very few and far between. The route itself is a figure of 8, so you must be careful when reaching the intersection point. You do not want to do what I did and end up riding 3 or more miles off-road in the failing light and then realising in the complete darkness that I had gone the wrong way and had to turn around. I enjoyed a couple more hours of riding in the darkness before realising that resupply in Castleton would have to wait until the morning. If I'd soldiered on to the shop, it wouldn't even be open yet, so I decided to sleep behind this bench and get some shut-eye. So one of the best pieces of advice I can offer on this route: make sure you are carrying plenty of food and water with you, as chances for resupply are seldom available. Being self-sufficient carrying your own water is vital on the North Yorkshire Moors 300. Unlike me, you may want to do your homework and look at shops, pubs and places that may be located just off the route. Stubbornly, I just stuck to the original route verbatim until the second day, more on that later. As you can see here, I even took my water filter with me and filled up an empty water bottle. I was very lucky to find this stream, although those two aren't a regular feature along the route. The North Yorkshire Moors 300 took me on some beautiful fast gravel descents along crunchy forest tracks through remote and deserted harsh landscapes where I was the only person for miles around. At times the pace of the route was very free flowing and progressive, and at other times it was not. It was a slow and arduous task where you didn't feel like you were making much progress, but in reality they didn't last for very long and you was making good progress again. On the second leg of my journey, I reached the bike centre at Dalby Forest, where unfortunately for me, everything had closed by that point on a Saturday evening. I had no water and very little food, so I did the right thing and came off route, meandering for a while, checking on Google Maps. I found a pub not far off route and headed for that, hoping it would be open. Thankfully it was, and so enjoyed a good evening meal, a pint, and filled up on my water bottles. The lesson learnt here for me was if you want to attempt the North Yorkshire Moors 300, I would start as early as possible in the day, ideally in the morning rather than after work on an evening. I think this would align better with the points of resupply, although I would not bank on it, so definitely set out with plenty of food, meaningful carbs and water bottles full from the start. Despite all the talk of nutrition and staying alive, the North Yorkshire Moors 300 is a wonderful route in this neck of the woods, and that I would highly recommend to anyone interested in setting themselves a tough off-road challenge. The terrain itself is mostly free flowing with some arduous sections in there for sure, with its fair share of technical descents that will test you. As for me, well, I do consider myself somewhat experienced off-road, but certainly not at downhill mountain biking. So there was the odd occasion where I was definitely out of my depth, but with perseverance and patience and a little skill, learning to trust my bike and a heap of facing my fears, I was able to see it through to the end. If you're interested in riding the North Yorkshire Moors 300 this July, check out the link below this video, or wait until the end of this one and click the link for the full North Yorkshire Moors 300 video. And do remember to comment, like and subscribe. See you again soon, and thanks for watching. Let's keep on walking a little while. Don't think I'll be cycling very fast anyway. Wow, it's absolutely beautiful.